Hare Krishna Mataji, Danvat Pranam. Please accept my humble obeisances to all the devotees. This is Krishna Smita Devidasi from Charlotte, North Carolina. My humble obeisances to all.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Smita Mataji, Dandavat Pranam. Please accept my humble obeisances. All goes to Srila Prabhupada and Gurudev. Thank you so much, Mataji, for joining. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Radharani Mataji. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada and all the assembled devotees. This is Indulekha Karuna Devidasi from Lincoln.
Hare Krishna, Indulekha Karuna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam. Please accept my humble obeisances. All goes to Srila Prabhupada and Gurudev. Thank you so much, Mataji, for having your wonderful association. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Radhika Mataji, Dandavat Pranam, Srila Prabhupada, Srila Gurudev Ki Jai. Please accept my humble obeisances to you and all Vaishnava Vrinda.
Hare Krishna, Vrinda Gopika Mataji, Dandavat Pranam. Please accept my humble obeisances. All goes to Srila Prabhupada and Gurudev. Thank you so much, Mataji, for joining and giving your association. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Radharani Mataji, Dandavat Pranam, Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai, Guru Maharaj Ki Jai, Kirtida from Charlotte. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Preeti Mataji, Dandavat Pranam. Please accept my humble obeisances. All goes to Srila Prabhupada and Gurudev. Thank you so much, Mataji, for joining. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Radharani Mataji. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada and Guru Maharajas. This is Preeti Vilasini Devidasi from California. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Preeti Vilasini Mataji, Dandavat Pranam. Please accept my humble obeisances. All goes to Srila Prabhupada and Gurudev. Thank you so much, Mataji, for joining and giving your association. Hare Krishna. Are there any other devotees who would like to introduce themselves? You can please go ahead.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam. So glories to Srila Prabhupada, glories to Guru Maharajas and all the assembled Vaishnavas. This is Kirtida Sundari Dasi. So nice to see you.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna, Kirtida Sundari Mataji, Dandavat Pranam. Please accept my humble obeisances. All goes to Srila Prabhupada and Gurudev. Thank you so much, Mataji, for joining and giving your association. Thank you, Mataji. I request if any other devotees would like to go ahead, you can please go ahead. Introduce yourself. I welcome each and everyone once again for the Bhakti Sangha Japa conference call. Today we are very fortunate to have Her Grace Kirtida Sundari Mataji to enlighten us on the topic Sri Caitanya Charitamrta, Antya Lila 20.20 onwards. Hare Krishna Mataji, once again Dandavat Pranam. Please accept our humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada and Gurudev. Thank you so much for your very valuable time and association. I would like to hand over the call to you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Radharani Mataji and all the assembled Vaishnavas. Please accept my most humble obeisances at the dust of all of your lotus feet. All glories to Prabhupada. So we'll start now. Jaya Jaya Shri Caitanya, Jaya Nityananda, Jaya Dvaita Chandra, Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Jaya Jaya Shri Caitanya, Jaya Nityananda, Jaya Dvaita Chandra, Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Jaya Jaya Shri Caitanya, Jaya Nityananda, Jaya Dvaita Chandra, Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. So we are reading from Sri Caitanya Charitamrta, Antya Lila, chapter number 20, the Shikshashtakam prayers. And today we will do from text number 20 onwards. Yei rupe laila nama prema upajaya, tahara lakshana suna sarup ramaraya. Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu continued, O Sarup Damodar Goswami and Ramanand Rai, hear from me the symptoms of how one should chant the Hare Krishna Mahamantra to awaken very easily one's dormant love for Krishna. Om Ajnana-timirandhasya Jnananjana-shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Rupam Shri Guru Shri Vaishnav Vancha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatham Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakham Vitamscha. He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Deen Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Shri Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpa Tarubhascha Kripa Sindhu Bhaevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivas Adi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Charu Swami Niti Namine Snekta Chaita Supraneta Vagmima Sarasa Pratam Prabhupada Gata Prana Nami Bhakti Charu Padam Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschate Deshatarine Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangum Langayate Girim Yat Kripahatam Ham Vande Shri Guru Tinatarinam Paramanandam Madhavam Shri Krishna Chaitanya Ishwaram Guruve Gaura Chandraya Radhikaya Tadale Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktāya Tad Bhaktāya Namo Namo Anand Lila Maya Vigrahaya Hema Bacha Divya Chavisundaraya Tasmai Mahar Rasa Prema Pradaya Chaitanya Chandraya Namo Namaste Chaitanya Chandraya Namo Namaste Chaitanya Chandraya Namo Namaste. Hare Krishna everyone. So thank you all so much for joining. Thank you for sharing your valuable time with all of us. And I really seek blessings, prayers, and wishes from all of you so that I can speak something relevant to this subject matter and imbibe myself the mood that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu wants to depict while chanting the holy name. So I may also imbibe that. It's not just sitting and preaching, but also practicing in my own life. So please bless me so that I can do so. I really seek all the blessings from each and every one of you assembled here. Vancha kalpatarubhascha kripa sindhu vaevacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo. So we'll start now. So I'll not go into the much of the context because we have a lot to cover today. So we have been attending these Caitanya Charitamrta sessions, and we are in the last chapter of Caitanya Charitamrta, where Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is stressing on the importance of holy name, which is the Yuga Dharma, and because of which only we can perfect our life. So we know that there are many ways, different yugas, through which we can achieve, self-perfection. But this age, Kali Yuga, the Yuga Dharma is chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. And now the best part of the whole Caitanya Charitamrita, which is Shikshashtakam, is being discussed in this whole chapter. And Mahaprabhu is sharing these confidential verses of Shikshashtakam to his most intimate devotees. They are Sarup Damodar Goswami and Rai Ramananda. And Mahaprabhu is sharing, these confidential Shikshashtakam. These are confidential, but these are the only instructions that Mahaprabhu gave, right? These are the only instructions that Mahaprabhu gave. And when we say that we are Gaudiya Vaishnavas, when we say that we follow the instructions of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, when we say that we follow the footsteps of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and all our previous predecessor acharyas, then at least we should know what Mahaprabhu has given to us. So on that note, it's my humble request that those who have memorized these Chaitanya Shikshashtakam verses, it's good, we should recite it daily. But those who have not, then please try to recite and learn, memorize, these verses of Shikshashtakam. These are the only verses. Like yesterday also, Arjun Sakha Prabhu was stressing on this point, that how Bhagavad Gita has 800 verses. Krishna spoke so many verses, 700, but it's not all 700 spoken by Krishna, because we have few verses by Sanjaya, by few verses by Arjuna. But there are a couple verses that Shri Krishna spoke in Bhagavad Gita. But Mahaprabhu gave specifically these 8 verses. These 8 verses are the summum bonum of our Vaishnava philosophy. So we should try to memorize these 8 verses. So for memorization, it's not that, we have to really, stress on that memorization. If we chant every day, then within a month, I think so, we'll be able to memorize. But again, it depends. So just try to memorize. So we have already covered first and second verse of Shikshashtakam. We'll do a small recap of that verses also, and then we'll move on to the third verse, which is today's topic. Before I move forward, I just want to give a thing that today, on request of devotees, Krishna willing, time permits, we'll play Kahoot. So I'll not say that, that you should just 100% keep focus on the class, because definitely my class will not be that great. But if you are planning to attend, then, it's better if you concentrate. And so that will be helpful in the Kahoot later on. Anyways, moving forward. So these were the verses. So now in the 20th verse, that is for today's verse, Ye Rupa Leya Nama Prema Upajaya Tahara Lakshana Suna Sarupa Ramara. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, after giving the 2 important verses of Sri Chaitanya Shikshashtakam, the first and second, now Mahaprabhu is saying, O Sarup Damodar Goswami and Ramananda Rai, now hear from me the symptoms of how one should chant this Hare Krishna Mahamantra to awaken very easily one's dormant love for Krishna. So we all know that we all are Krishna conscious by birth, right? It's only that Krishna consciousness is now, it's dormant in our heart. So we have to awaken, right? And to that, Mahaprabhu is giving this verse moving forward. So as we said that we'll do a quick recap of these verses. So Shikshashtakam, we know that there are 8 verses, and the first verses that we did was Chaito Darpanam Arjanam, Bhava Mahadavagni Nirvapanam, Shreya Khairava Chandrika Vitaranam, Vidya Vadhu Jivanam, Anandam Buddhi Vardhanam, Pratipadam Purna Amrita Swadanam, Sarvatmana Sanapanam, Param Vijayate Shri Krishna Sankirtanam. So in these in this first verse, there are 7 attributes, the 7 effects that is brought forward when we chant the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Param Vijayate Shri Krishna Sankirtanam, or glories to the Sankirtan. All glories to Sankirtan. And what are those 7 effects? The first effect is Chaito Darpana Marjanam. What happened that when we chant, it cleanses the mirror of the mind. So our mind becomes crystal clear, so we can see, because if there is a board and there is a lot of scribbles there on the board, like if there's a blackboard, right? If you give a chalk to a small child, what the child will do? Child will scribble the whole blackboard with a chalk. So that's what our condition is. Our chitta, our mind is that blackboard which has been scribbled miserably by the white chalk. And what are those scribbles? Are just the impression that we are carrying from our past life. And even the impressions that we have been carrying in this life too. So if we really want to write something on that blackboard, we have to clean that blackboard. Otherwise, on scribbles, if we write anything, it will be another scribble added, right? So that will be a more mess. So we have to really clean that blackboard in order to write something, and so that we can read it or others can read it, right? But that can only happen when we take a duster and we can remove all those chalk scribbles from that blackboard. So this chanting of Hare Krishna Mahamantra is that duster through which we can remove those scribbles, those impressions that we have been carrying in our heart, and the heart becomes crystal clear. And when the heart becomes crystal clear, then only it can be the residence for the divine couple to stay. Gaura Chandra Nityananda can only come when the heart becomes clear. Right? So Chaito Dharpana Marjanam, the heart becomes like a mirror when we chant Hare Krishna. This is the first effect. Next effect is Bhava Mahadavagni Nirvapanam. It stops the miseries of the material existence. There is so much to speak, but definitely I'll not go. I'll just cover the high level. Shreya Kairava Chandrika Vitaranam, that's the third effect. What happens is the moonshine, the white lotus, it blooms. So similarly, the chanting of the holy name, it spread the moonshine of all auspiciousness and good fortune. Right? The good fortune and the auspiciousness, the flower, the white flower of auspiciousness and the white flower of good fortune gets bloomed when we chant this Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Then Vidya Vadhu Jivanam. Then all the knowledge comes to us, one who sincerely chant this holy name. We don't have to put extra endeavor. It's just because this knowledge is not something that we can academically achieve. This knowledge is something that is revealed, right? Divya Gyan Hriday Prakashito. So this Divya Gyan gets revealed in the heart when we chant this Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Then fifth effect is Anandam Buddhi Vardhanam. That sincere chanting gives the highest bliss. Vardhanam. Vardhanam means it increases. It increases. And sincere chanting increases our bliss at every step. Pratipadam. At every step it gets increased and we become absorbed in chanting the holy name. Then the sixth effect is Purna Amrita Swadanam. Then we get a soothing taste, a soothing effect, a cooling effect. That chanting gives a soothing effect. In other words, it gives a relief from all our material life and gives a taste, aswadanam. It gives the taste of nectar. And then what happens? Sarvatmana sanapanam. When we get that taste of nectar, then our whole existence becomes completely bathed in that transcendence, in that cooling shower of that nectar. Param Vijayate Shri Krishna Sankirtanam, or glories to Shri Krishna Sankirtanam. So after describing these 7 effects, then Mahaprabhu gives another verse, which is Nam Akari Bahuda Nija Sarva Shaktis Tatrarpita Niyamita Smarane Nakala Etadrishi Tava Kripa Bhagavan Mamapi Durdaivam Idrishajam Ihajani Nanuraga. Very beautiful verse, but after describing those 7 effects in the first verse of Shikshashtakam, now Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is basically lamenting. He is giving his lamentation in this verse. What he's saying, Nam Akari Bahuda Nija Sarva Shaktis. O Krishna, O Supreme Lord, you have so many names and everybody will be attracted to different names. Somebody may be attracted to chant Govinda. Somebody will attracted to chant Krishna. Somebody may attracted to chant Radha Kanta. Some may be attracted to chant Girivardhari. So many names you have, but it's not that these names are just coming out. And somebody can ask, well, what's the difference? Like if I chant Madan Mohan, if I chant Gopinath, if I chant Govinda, does it make any difference? No, it doesn't make any difference. It really doesn't make any difference, because Mahaprabhu himself is saying, Nam Akari Bahuda. You have so many names and Nija Sarva Shaktis, and you have given your own Nija Sarva, your own Shakti in those holy names. So they are equally potent, no matter how and where we chant. And moreover, tatrarpita means in those names, you have arpita. Arpita means to bestow. You have bestow, all your potencies in all these names. And moreover, niyamita smaranena kala. You have no niyam. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu here makes a clear distinction in this verse number 2, that our process is very different from the regular process that we have in the Vedas of attaining some spiritual advancement. Right? We are actually beyond the rules and regulations which the Vedas enjoins. You must have noticed that we do have some rules for our own selves, that it's what we impose our own selves, that it's good to chant in Brahma Muhurta and it's good to chant after taking showers, so and so forth. We have so rules. But Mahaprabhu is saying, you have that, Mahaprabhu himself is saying that niyama smarane na kala, that there is no niyam while chanting this holy name. We have no rules whatsoever in order to impose on others, imposing rules in others we don't have those stringent laws, that makes it difficult for others to practice this process. And moreover, it's distributed freely. So that's also a plus point, that this, the Mahaprabhu is distributing freely this holy name. So smarane, niyamata smarane na kala. But Mahaprabhu is showing his lamentation. And what lamentation he's saying? Etadrishi tava kripa bhagavan mamapi. He's saying, I know, oh my Lord, you have been so merciful that you have invested all the potencies of the holy names in these potencies in this holy name. But see my misfortune. Durdaivam. Durdaivam means my misfortune. Idrishajam. Ihajani. I know that this is my misfortune, and I know that you have invested all your potencies in these holy names. But see my misfortune, that na anuraga, I have no taste in chanting. So this is the lamentation that Mahaprabhu is saying. Now Mahaprabhu, he is Krishna himself, right? So why he will say that he is so misfortunate that he doesn't have that taste in chanting the holy name. Actually, Mahaprabhu is, he's saying these verses for us, because we all know, right? We have been hearing throughout our journey of Krishna consciousness, so many times we have attended those japa retreats and those japa sessions, and we have been, been so much clear that, how much importance this holy name has. Like if we have that weighing scale, that 99% of our devotional service is on chanting. Chanting will always have the heavy weightage when it comes to the devotional service. So still, we know all this. We know that how this is the Yuga Dharma. We should chant, but still we have no taste in chanting. Still we commit offenses. Still we become so inattentive. Still we become so reluctant in taking up our beat back early in the morning, leaving the comfort of the bed. So why this is Dirdaivam, this is our misfortune condition, that even though knowing it, ihajani, yes, even though knowing it, that this is there, but still nanuraga, we don't have any taste in chanting the holy name. So this is what Mahaprabhu is saying, because Mahaprabhu, now see in this verse, Mahaprabhu is saying, because people vary in their desires, you have distributed various holy names by your mercy. And tahite suite yatha katha namalaye khala desha niyama nahi sarva siddhi ho. Regardless of time or place, one who chants the holy name, even while sleeping or eating, attains all perfection. So you have invested all your potencies in individual holy name, but I'm so unfortunate that I have no attachment, no taste for chanting your holy names. This is all for us, right? And then Mahaprabhu is saying that how to get that taste, how you can chant, how you can easily awaken that dormant love for Krishna. And to that Mahaprabhu says this 21st verse, which is the very most important verse. And you must have heard this verse so frequently quoted by so many devotees. Those devotees who know the meaning, who imbibe this meaning of this verse, they also quote it. And those devotees, those people like me, who basically just memorized this verse but have not really understood the real meaning, or have not imbibed the meaning but still have this audacity to speak something on this verse. So how important this verse is. So in this verse, Mahaprabhu will give you the process that how we have to chant in order to awaken the dormant love for Krishna. Trinadapi sunicena tarorapi iva sahishuna amanina manadena kirtaniya sadahari. One who thinks himself lower than the grass, one who is more tolerant than a tree, and who does not expect personal honor, but is always prepared to give all respect to others, can very easily always chant the holy name of the Lord. So this is the verse that Mahaprabhu quotes and which will be the key point for us, right? So in this verse, Mahaprabhu is giving the symptoms of how we should chant this Hare Krishna Mahamantra, right? So there are 4 things that Mahaprabhu is giving. First is Trinad api suni chena. Trina, what is Trina? Trina is a grass. We have to become more humble than a blade of grass. Trinadapi suni chena. Ni chena means it becomes humble, right? So we have to become suni chena. We have to become more humbler than the blade of grass. Taror api iva sahishuna. We have to become more tolerant than a tree. Taro means tree. Amanina manadena. Amanina means to give up one's false pride. We have to become prideless. To give up one's false pride is what is amanina. And manadena is giving all respect to others, no matter who that person is. But we should give all respect to others. In these 4 symptoms, if one we have, then Mahaprabhu says, Kirtaniya sadahari. One can chant the holy name incessantly. In that state, actually, one should do Kirtaniya Sadahari. One should chant the holy name of the Supreme Lord. Now, Kirtaniya Sadahari. In this, actually, this is the most important statement in this whole verse. Kirtaniya Sadahari. Because this is the highest level of attainment. And the pre-qualification to achieve this highest level of attainment is what we discussed, right? Trinadapi suni chena, humbler than the blade of grass. Tharorapi sahisuna, being more tolerant than the tree. Amanina, leaving all our false pride. And manadena, giving all respect to others. So now Mahaprabhu is saying that in order to chant Krishna's name incessantly, Kirtaniya Sadahari, we have to have these so-called pre-qualifications which are required but are secondary qualifications. Secondary qualification of being humble, secondary qualification of being tolerant, so and so forth. Now why I'm saying that these are secondary qualification, because Mahaprabhu is saying that these are the pre-qualifications if we have to chant the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. But in this verse, in this particular verse, why I am saying that the first 3 lines are secondary and the last line, which is Kirtaniya Sadahari, is the main, right? Because being humble or being tolerant is not the goal of our life, right? Chanting Krishna's name uninterruptedly is actually the goal of life. So that's why I'm saying that in the verse, right? In the verse where Mahaprabhu is saying, Trinad api suni chena, tharor api shahishuna, amanina manadena, kirtaniya sadahari. First 3 lines are secondary. They are important. I'm not saying they are not important. They are very important because that's the process. Mahaprabhu is saying that if we have all these qualities, it will be easy for us to chant, to basically bathe in the river of holy name. right? So if we really have to bathe, if we really have to drown ourselves in the river of this holy name, then yes, these three qualities should be there. But are these the goal? No, because what our goal is to bathe in the river of, drown in the river of holy name. Kirtaniya Sada Hari is actually the goal. That's why I'm saying the primary line in this whole verse is Kirtaniya Sada Hari. Always chant Krishna's name. Always be in a position where we remember Krishna. Right? But other three qualities, that being tolerant, being humble, bereft of false prestige, and giving all respect to others, these are important, but these are not the goal of our life. See, we have to understand that first we have to develop sambandha with Krishna. Right? So when we understand that sambandha with Krishna, then we fall in love with Krishna. And then we want to chant Krishna's name. It's not that we have to chant Krishna's name. Picking a bead bag doesn't come out of force. It comes out of love, where we want to chant Krishna's name because we have fallen so much of love with him. And when we want to chant Krishna's name, when we get taste in chanting Krishna's name, right? And when we get that taste in chanting Krishna's name, then, we automatically, those qualities of being humble, those qualities of become tolerant, those qualities of giving up all our false prestige that have been arising due to so-called false designations, and the quality of giving all respect to others, it comes on its own. Because now we have developed that taste, that attachment, that ruchi, that asakti in chanting the holy name. So all these qualities will come. It will come, like in Bhagavatam also, right? There is a verse, Yasyati bhaktir bhagavati akinchana, sarver guna tatra samaste sarva, right? Asura. So all these qualities will come, but we have to work on Kirtaniya Sada Hari. We have to chant more number of rounds. We have to engage our time in chanting more, develop nishtha in this process. And when we develop nishtha, we become steady in our process. We want to develop ruchi. We want to develop taste, to be able to develop asakti, so that we can develop some attachment. And after that, develop some emotions while chanting. It's not that just emotionless we are chanting one after the another. No, we develop some emotions and ultimately crystallize or condense those emotions into love of Godhead. That is what is prema. So that is our goal. This is what is Kirtaniya Sada Hari. Always chanting Krishna's name. But as I said, it's not that we have to reject all those three lines. We have to work on those also. We can't just keep aside, because these are the process that Mahaprabhu gives, that you have to develop humility, you have to develop tolerance, you have to give away your false pride, and you have to give respect to others, offer respect to others. See, being humble or being tolerant is not the goal. Someone might be humble, someone might be humble. We have come across so many people in this world. They are naturally humble. Their intrinsic nature is that they are humble. They are quite tolerant. We see that, some people, though they are not in Krishna conscious, but they have so much patience in them. They have so much tolerance in them. Right? We find such people. They are genuinely humble. They are genuinely tolerant. They are genuinely patient in the work they get, in the activities they have. They are genuinely like that. But it's their misfortune that they don't have any taste in chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. So such qualities, they are respected qualities. We respect those qualities in others, but those qualities is not going to lead them to develop some sambandha with Krishna, because they have no taste in chanting. They are naturally humble. They are naturally soft-spoken. They are naturally very, very tolerant. But what the main missing point is that they have no taste in chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. So therefore, in this verse, Kirtaniya Sada Hari is the ultimate goal to chant Krishna's holy name. Satatam kirtanoyam yatantas tach dridhavrata. With full determination, we should chant this holy name. We should develop that taste of holy name, right? So, but at the same time, we have to follow the process. We have to follow those. We have to really work on those secondary qualities that Mahaprabhu is saying, because only then we will be able to drown ourselves in the river of holy name. Trinadapi sunichena, being humbler than the blade of grass. So now we'll go step by step into all these 4 qualities. So first we'll discuss about humility. Mahaprabhu is saying, Trina api sunichena, Trina, grass, you have to be more humbler than the blade of grass. So why grass? Have you ever stepped on grass? You must have. So many devotees, you must have stepped on grass. What happened when we step on grass? Grass is so malleable that once you trampled upon it, it doesn't have the tendency to spring back in the opposite direction. It bends. The way you walk, it bends. But then what happens? Does it keep in that position? No, it comes back. It comes back once you are out from that place. It comes back, right? So a blade of grass has no tendency to spring back in the opposite direction as soon as someone trample on it, right? That's the humility. It's so malleable, so flexible. That's the nature of a grass. The second nature of grass is that it can be blown here and there. You know, there is a straw on the street, and when the wind comes, it gets blown away. But it gets blown away from here and there by the storm, by the wind of the external environment. Right? This is the second quality. So we have to remember these 2 qualities. One is that it doesn't spring back in the opposite direction, somebody steps on it. And secondly, if a gush of wind comes, it doesn't retaliate. It just gets blown away in the direction of the wind. But just see how we are. If somebody says something to us, oh, we want to retaliate. Immediately we want to respond. Tit for tat, tooth for a tooth, eye for an eye. That's our nature, right? And secondly, when the environment, when there is, we have some, so we have that opposing tendency. So if some environment is there for us, some circumstances are there, we want to oppose. We just don't want to flow in the environment that is there, that is carrying us. No, we want to oppose it. So in this verse, he's saying, Trinadapi sunichena, you have to become humbler than the blade of grass. So what does this humility means? This humility is actually a very foreign term when it comes to a corporate world or it comes to some material world. It's just the opposite, right? In corporate world, in the material outside, when we are doing our 9-to-5 job, we cannot become humble, right? That humility is looked down upon if we become humble. But we have to develop humility if we want to chant, if we want to move closer to Krishna. This quality is what it is appreciated. We have to work on this quality. So what is the humility? It is the state of being able to accept the arrangements made by Krishna in our life and at the same time acting with courage upon it. So this is the real definition of humility. I'll repeat. Humility is a state of being able to accept all the arrangements that is made by Krishna, not retaliating it, not opposing it, but accepting the arrangements that is made by Krishna, and at the same time acting with courage upon it. It's not just accept, but doesn't act. No, we have to accept those arrangements and at the same time we have to act on it. That is the real humility. That is going to make us progress. That is the real humility. To seek an example for this, let's go 5,000 years back on the battlefield of Kurukshetra, where Arjuna was so much confused. But isn't it that Arjuna is considered humble? Yes, definitely. Arjuna is considered humble. But what was he doing? Was he just sitting at one place and saying, oh, Krishna, it's very difficult for me to fight. I cannot fight with my grandfather. I cannot shoot arrows on my spiritual masters. No. Arjuna was in that state. But after hearing Bhagavad Gita, what he did, he accepted the arrangements that is made by Krishna. Then what he did, he acted courageously upon it. Arjuna did not accept it, did not fall at the feet of all others. No, that's not the humility, falling at the feet of others. You must have come across, at least I have come across so many devotees, they say, oh, I'm the most fallen, I don't know anything. Well, Prabhupada say you are most of nothing. You cannot be most fallen also, because if we are most fallen, then Krishna himself will come to deliver us. So we are most of nothing, right? Yes, we do say we are patit, and oh Krishna, you are patita bhavana. Yes, that's true. But it's not just in our words. We have to show that humility. And that humility is when we accept those arrangements that is made by Krishna to us. No matter in what position we are, we have to understand that Krishna has made that arrangement for me. No matter those arrangements, maybe because of the reactions of my karmic actions. Maybe because, not maybe, rather 99% it is because of the reactions of the actions that we have committed in our past. It's all the reactions of our karmic actions, but still we have to accept those to be the arrangements of Krishna. For example, if we buy an apple from a market, what it is, it's just a matter, right? It's matter. But the moment we offer it to Krishna, the same matter becomes spirit. It becomes spiritual. Now it has become prasadam. So no matter the arrangements that we have today, they are all because of our own karmic reactions. But we offer those reactions to Krishna and we say, no, Krishna, now I'm offering these reactions to you. So they are no more my reactions. Now I'm accepting these as the arrangements made by you. We involve Krishna in each and every of our activity. And once we involve Krishna in each and every activity, we make it that all these arrangements that are there in my life is because of Krishna's arrangement. So same what Arjuna did. It was such a complex and complicated situation for Arjuna because it wasn't easy. It was not easy. But what he did finally after hearing Bhagavad Gita from Krishna, he accepted. He accepted those arrangements made by Krishna, and finally he executed upon the mission that was wanted by Krishna. This is humility. Being humble in the blade of grass, becoming more flexible. Don't be so, have your own stringent laws. Don't become so complex. Be simple. And be flexible and accept Krishna's arrangement as it is, and that too with love. Those arrangements may not be the liking of ours. We may not love being in those arrangements. We may not like those arrangements that is made by Krishna. But however, we should accept those arrangements and have the ability to act upon it with courage. With so much conviction that, oh Krishna, we should understand that whatever circumstances you are putting me into is right for me, is actual the arrangements by you out of love. You love me more than anyone else. And therefore, oh Krishna, whatever you do, you will do best for me. That is humility. Understanding the misery that is arising because of some scarcity, some lamentations, some old age, some kind of disease, and understanding that some of the happiness that we achieve out of wealth, out of beauty, out of strength, out of knowledge, and so forth, we have to understand that all these, they are the manifest reactions of my previous activities, right? But because of this, I may suffer, I may enjoy. depending upon whether I get disease, whether I get some distress, or I get some happiness. All these I have to either enjoy or I have to suffer. But they have nothing to do with our ultimate spiritual reality, which is Jivere Sarupa Hoy, Krishnera Nityadas. That is my ultimate spiritual reality. And all these things doesn't hold any value, right? So therefore, Mahaprabhu is saying that give up all those so-called designations you have. Give up so-called happiness and miseries of this material world you have. They have nothing to do with this spiritual reality. Therefore, Mahaprabhu is saying, become more humble than the blade of grass. Why? Because Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur and Bhakti Vinod Thakur has written beautiful commentary on this verse. And they say that even the grass is a material object, right? Grass is a material object. And grass also has a small ego in respect that it's a grass. Right? It has a small ego that it's a grass, right? And that's very natural and very reasonable also. But our ego in respect to the gross or the subtle things that we have, the material bodies we have to give up. We have to give up all those, whatever ego we have, they are fundamentally wrong. We cannot even have that ego that I'm a human being. Forget about the designations that I've been carrying from ages. We just have to understand that my identity is to serve Krishna. Rest all our identities are just fundamentally wrong. So we have to give up our identity, what the identity the grass is having, that I am a grass. That's why he's saying, Trinad api sunichena, that we have to become more humbler than the blade of grass. We should not carry even an iota of that ego. And we should chant in that mood. In that mood, we should call upon, O Gaura Chandra, O Krishna Chandra, O Srimati Radharani, please be merciful upon me and grant me some unadulterated service at the dust of your lotus feet, and accept me without any delay. In that mood, we have to chant. We have to give up that identity also of becoming a human being. We should not be egoistic, that we should not have have that pride that, see, my past activities might be something good. That's why I got this human body. No, if we have got this human body, which is also, in one sense, it's good because that way we can practice Krishna consciousness. But Prabhupada says that even getting human body means that you are affected with 4 kinds of diseases, that is birth, old age, disease, and death. So what's so good about it? It's just when we get this human body, we have to make the best use of this bad bargain. And that is use this, let Krishna use this body, this human form, in his service. Make us the instrument in his service. And that can only happen when we wholeheartedly accept that in whatever position, in whatever circumstances, in whatever scenario I am in, it's all Krishna's arrangement. Nothing is mine. It's all Krishna's arrangement. If we accept that and we act upon it, because when I said that the grass, once you leave that portion of the grass comes back. It doesn't just be on that mood of lowing down. So when some circumstances come on us, those arrangements, and we see, okay, I'm thinking that, yes, this is Krishna's arrangement. I do accept it, but I'll not work on it. Means that I'm feeling depressed. I'm feeling low in my enthu, that I cannot work on those arrangements. That is not humility. Humility is not just bowing down. It's not just lowering down ourselves, lowering our self-esteem. That is not humility. Humility is accept Krishna's arrangement and then work on it, act on it. A classic example is given of Srila Haridas Thakur. Who is Haridas Thakur? He is a Namacharya. And Mahaprabhu is asking Haridas Thakur so many questions we have seen in Chaitanya Charitamrta, where Mahaprabhu is asking questions from Haridas Thakur that, oh Haridas, tell me, you have been chanting this holy name incessantly now, how the others will get benefit, how those trees will get benefit. And he asked so many questions, and that is what is Harinam Chintamani, right? So what Haridas Thakur did, Haridas Thakur accepted that arrangement. He knew that he is nothing in front of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is the Supreme Lord. He would have easily said, oh Mahaprabhu, who am I? Why you are asking these questions to me? You are the Samam Bonam. You are the Supreme Lord. You know everything. But no. Haridas Thakur said, oh Krishna, oh Mahaprabhu, you are asking these questions from me? Now you yourself reside on my tongue and let the answers come out. You become the instrument. Let me become the instrument and you take over my tongue. Let my tongue become the instrument in answering all your questions. This is what humility is. Just always going down, lowering down our self-esteem is not humility. Humility is we have to accept Krishna's arrangements as it is, and we have to understand that this is Krishna's arrangement out of love. Krishna has made this for me, and now I have to act sincerely upon it. And that in that mood, if we chant, Krishna is going to give us all the strength to deal with all those circumstances. Right? Now, next we'll go with Taror api sahisuna, Taror eva sahisuna, becoming more tolerant than a tree. Again, the same thing that I'll say, that just like humility, tolerance is also not the quality of this, of the spirit, of this material world. In corporate and material world, this humility, this tolerance is always looked down upon. If, for example, if someone commits some bad activities on us, towards us, and if we retaliate, we give them eye for an eye, tooth for a tooth, then that person, you know, in this age of hypocrisy and quarrel is always appreciated. They become the role model. Wow, this person is so witty. This person has answered the another person so wonderfully. You know, that person becomes a role model. But now, if we have to climb up the hill, we have to go against the gravity, because now we have to climb up the hill to reach Krishna Prema. That is our goal. If we keep that our goal, then we have to work on the qualities that is befitting to reach to that goal. So now we have to climb up the mountain, go against the gravity. So we have to go against this material world. Right? We have to go against the qualities of this material world. The qualities of this material world is not humility and tolerance, but we have to develop that if our goal is different. If our goal is to become successful in material world, then yes, we can go towards the gravity. You know, we can go and it will be easy. You know, we can be really stood out as a role model. But if we have to go against gravity, some effort is required. It's very easy to go downstairs, but it's very difficult to go upstairs. You know, it requires some force because we are going against gravity. Similarly, now we are going towards Krishna, which is on the top of the mountain. So we have to climb up the mountain. Now we have to climb up the mountain means some force is required. So that means we have to give up the qualities of this material world, and we have to get the qualities that is required in the spiritual world, in Krishna Loka, and that is humility and tolerance. And we have to develop those qualities of tolerance, right? Now, like Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, actually, he advises that for our spiritual progress, we have to develop this quality of tolerance. And that's why he says, Taror apihi eva sahishuna, that we have to become more tolerant than a tree. 1 minute. Okay, now we'll see the qualities of the tree. So let's go back to our verses. Text number 22. Uttamahana apana ketana nitrina dhama dui prakare sahishnuta kare vrikshasama So first he is describing the quality of Trina. The symptoms, one who chants the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, although he is very exhausted, he thinks himself lower than the grass on the ground. And like a tree, Sahishnata, Vrikshasama, he has to become tolerant, everything in two ways. Trees tolerate everything in two ways. So what are the two ways in which the tree tolerates? That's the example Mahaprabhu is giving. Vrakshayena katileha kichu na bolaya sukhana maila maileha kare pani na magaya. Vrakshayena katileha. If somebody come and cuts the tree doesn't protest. The tree doesn't say, oh, please don't cut me. The tree doesn't protest. Kichu na bolaya. Kuch nahi bolta tree. He doesn't speak anything. It doesn't speak anything. Sukhana maliya. Even if it dries up, the tree is never going to ask that, please give me a glass of water. It doesn't ask anyone any water. This is the first quality. The second is yei magaya tara deya apna dhana grama vrishti sahe anera karaya rakshana. At the same time, the tree delivers its own fruits, its own dhana, apna dhana. What is the dhana? What is the property the tree has? Is the fruits, the flowers, whatever it possesses, it gives everyone to anyone and anyone. It tolerates, at the same time, it tolerates the scorching heat and torrents of rain, yet it gives shelter to others. So this is how we have to become more tolerant than a tree. See, there are some people who go and cut the trees. We know that they cut the branches of the tree. And, sometimes if you have to cut a banyan tree, so just imagine how difficult it is to cut a banyan tree. It takes so many days to cut banyan tree. Why? Because the root of the banyan tree, they are basically acting like a shoot, right? And then the different branches of the banyan tree, they come down and they start acting as a root and they get embedded into the ground. So it's very, very difficult, and it's a cumbersome process to destroy or to cut the banyan tree. It's a huge tree. So if somebody goes and cut a banyan tree, I'm just giving you to think over. If somebody goes and cut a banyan tree, it's a matter of days. It's not in one day that it is cut. So now imagine people are cutting the banyan tree, right? And now they feel tired. What will they do? They will take shelter. They will sit under the same tree till the time the tree is not being cut. And they'll sit under that tree. They'll eat their lunch. They'll take their afternoon nap. They'll eat the fruits of the same tree to quench their hunger. And now when they are tired, they want to take the nap in the shade of the same tree. And after taking the nap, when they wake up, they get regenerated. They take up their axe and they again cut that tree. So just see how much the tree gives. They take shelter of the same tree and now they are cutting the same tree. But the tree doesn't retaliate. So much so the tree has given. The tree has given its own flowers, its own shade, its own fruits. But the tree doesn't retaliate, ready to cut later. The example of the greatness of the tree is what Mahaprabhu said, that when the tree is drying up, the tree doesn't ask any water. It gets dried up on its own very happily, doesn't ask for water. That, oh, please give me a glass of water. I need water to grow. The tree doesn't ask. So, and on the other hand, if there is rain or there is scorching heat, the tree tolerates that. The tree tolerates the scorching heat of the sun. The tree tolerates the rain, but at the same time gives shelter those who come under that tree. That is the nature. It gives shade. So in this way, the tree exemplifies the principle of tolerance. And Mahaprabhu also says, Taro Riva Sahishana, that you have to become more tolerant than a tree. So only when a devotee comes onto the platform where he naturally is able to tolerate like that of tree, that is the state of consciousness where one can incessantly chant Krishna's holy name. Otherwise, Kirtanya Sadahari is not possible. It's not possible. It is said that the greatness of a person is ascertained in his or her ability to tolerate provoking situations. So we have to tolerate those provoking situations that comes in our life. We have to tolerate and then we have to move on. And that's the greatness of that person. We have so many examples in Srimad Bhagavatam. Definitely we don't have time to speak on those, but I'll just cite some examples. Those who tolerated and they became great. We know the story of Parikshit Maharaj. We know the pastime of Narad Muni and Daksha Prajapati. We have the pastime of Chitraketu, who later became Vritrasura. He tolerated, right? So he's great. And so many other examples. Total reversals they got in their life, but they tolerated. They tolerated. So let's understand what's the logical point about this tolerance. See, for every action, we have equal and opposite reaction. It's a Newton law, right? But it's also a karmic law that whatever we do, we'll bear equal and opposite reactions to it. We'll always get an equal and befitting reaction because everything is designed by Shri Krishna and he is perfect. He is perfect. So every action has a reaction. So for things that we did in the past, what we are doing it now in the present, we would get some good or some bad reactions in the future. You all agree, right? Whatever we have done in the past and whatever we are doing now, we will bear some good, some bad. I'm not saying always the bad because some good activities also we do, but we have to bear the reactions of all those, right? We come back and we bear those reactions. Now, sometimes those reactions can be in the form of somebody criticizing us, somebody chastising us, somebody hitting us, or somebody cursing us, right? There are so many different ways. So we are actually a reaction with what is coming because of the past actions that we did. Now, it's not always bad. Sometimes it is said that we have been glorified, right? Or sometimes we are not glorified. So even if we are glorified, it's all because of a reaction of the past actions that we did. So whatever is happening, it's because of the reaction that we are having in our life. So now if somebody is chastising us, somebody is criticizing us, if we tolerate it, then that's it. We are done with our, because we did something wrong, we got a reaction, we tolerated, end of the chapter, finish. But if we don't tolerate and if we retaliate on it, then what will happen? We are committing another reaction. We are committing another action, and that reaction we'll face it in future. Somebody did wrong to us. We got something I did in the past, I got a reaction to it. Suppose if I did something wrong, and because of which the reaction I got is that somebody cursed me, or somebody hit me, or somebody said anything wrong to me. Now, if I tolerate it, then that means I have cleared off my reactions. I got something, I tolerate it. Now, if I don't tolerate it, and if I retaliate on it, if I react on that situation, that means I'm committing another action. I'm committing another action whose reaction will I get later on. So this is the cycle. It goes on and on and on and on. But once we tolerate, end of the chapter. We have ended that. We have put a full stop on it. So this is the logical thing. Better to tolerate it. Leave it to Krishna. And once we do it, we have basically completed the whole cycle. Okay. Like Brahma also says in his 10th canto, Tatyanukampam susikshmano bhunjane vatma kritam vapa hedvag vapu vabhir vedham namaste jivete yumukti pade sadaya bhak. Very, very famous verse, we all know, right? That those who are ready to tolerate and accept all the provoking situations, all the sorrows in the life with gratitude, with love, not with any arrogance, but with love, with gratitude, and accept what is coming with happiness. Whatever Krishna is doing good for me. Not just saying that, oh, I have to tolerate, and in the mind, in the heart, we are having those grudges. No, with happiness, if we tolerate everything that comes onto us and understand that Krishna has a plan and Krishna is my well-wisher, this is all because for me to get purified, then yes, we have tolerated, we have really tolerated, and that balances off our reactions. So this is very, very important. Now, one point what I have to another say about the tolerances. Yeah, so one point that Bhakti Tirth Maharaj would always say, it's a very strong point, and we have to understand that Bhakti Tirth Maharaj, Srila Bhakti, His Holiness Srila Bhakti Tirtha Swami Maharaj would always say is that if somebody has done bad to us, or if somebody is envious to us, still we have to tolerate. Still we have to offer respect to that person, because that person has the key to the door through which we are entering the spiritual world. Such a strong statement. I'll repeat. He says that those who do bad to us, those who are envious to us, they have the key to the door through which we have to enter the spiritual world. So if we don't have the key of the door, and that key is with the person who is envious to us, then you know what we have to do in order to get the key is to give respect. And that's what Mahaprabhu is saying in this first third is he's saying amanina, that we have to give up all false pride whatsoever. We have to become prideless. The word amanina means third symptom of the sadhaka. To engage in Kirtanya Sadahari is to give up false prestige, to give up false ego. All egoism that is arising because of some power, some fame, some material opulence, some wealth, some beauty, some high birth, because of some social status, because of some high position, everything has to be given up. Everything has to be given up because everything is opposed to our real spiritual identity. Our identity, spiritual identity, has no connection with who we are in this material world, with what opulence we have in this material world. To be free from so-called false designation is what it is to be devoid of false ego, to become prideless. One who is, in spite of possessing all these qualifications, is further ornamented with the qualities of tolerance and humility and freedom from false ego and giving respect to all others, is the most qualified person to chant, to do Kirtaniya Sadahari. Right? So what we have to do is we have to give up all so-called designation, whether I am a householder, whether I am a grahastha, whether I am a brahmachari, whether I am a sannyasi, or whether I am, whether I am in my renounced order, or whether I'm a Brahmana, whether I'm a Kshatriya, whether I'm a Shudra, we have to give up all so-called designations. And the only designation we can have is to engage ourselves exclusively at the lotus feet of Lord Shri Krishna and engage ourselves in Kirtaniya Sadahari. Just as Mahaprabhu says, when Mahaprabhu was in front of Jagannath in the Jagannath Yatratra, Mahaprabhu says, right, this was Naham Vipro Nacha Narapatir Napi Vaishyo Na Shudro Naham Varni Nacha Grahapatir Na Vanasto Yatirva Kintu Prodyan Nikhila Paramananda Premapta Bher Gopi Bhartur Padkamalayor Das Das Anudas. That, oh, I do not belong to any of these categories. Neither I am into the 4 varnas, neither I am in those 4 ashramas. But what is my real identity? Gopi Bhartur Padakamalayur Das Das Anudas. That's my real identity. right? So we have to give up all those so-called false prestige that we have. Amanina. We have to give up, and we have to, then what we have to do? Manadena. We have to offer all respect to others. Just like what I said is Bhakti Tirth Maharaj used to say, right? That those who are envious to us have the key to the door through which we have to enter the spiritual world. So in that case, we have to give respect to everyone. We don't know who has the key. We don't know who is carrying the key of us. In the sense, we don't know that because of which we can be held back into this material world. So if somebody is offended, if we have not rectified that thing, we will keep coming in this cycle of birth and death. We will not be liberated. But if we try to make everybody happy, if we give respect, definitely it's impossible to make everybody happy. But if we offer all our respects to others, mentally as well as physically, see, the pure thing is that the best part is that, we should not even feel bad when we see a Vaishnava. That's the worst thing we can ever have. Whenever we see any Vaishnava, no matter that person has done anything wrong to us, but still if we say, just fold your hands, bow your head and say Hare Krishna, it's more than sufficient. Offer your respects to everybody. Manadena, it indicates the fourth symptom of a sadhaka who is engaged in Kirtaniya Sadhari. That we should have no malice, no agitation whatsoever for anybody. We have to please everyone with our sweet words and with our auspicious behavior. And we should humbly offer our respects to everyone. We should become equipoised. We should see Krishna, we should see Paramatma in the heart of everyone. Even if somebody is saying bad to us, we should think, oh, this is my true friend, because of which now I'm taking shelter of Krishna. So he's the one who is bringing me more closer to Krishna. It's very hard, but we have to practice. We have to practice no matter what. So it's only through these loving exchanges between the devotees that we can have, between the service, not getting agitated, not getting puffed up, not getting envious of somebody else's spiritual progress, seeing somebody else's spiritual progress, seeing somebody else being glorified. We should not feel envious. Only then we will be able to chant Kirtaniya Sadahari. We will be able to chant Krishna's name incessantly. The last verse for today. Uttamahana Vaishnava Have Nira Abhimana Jive Sammana Dibe Jani Krishna Adhishthana. Although a Vaishnava is the most exalted person, he is prideless. He has to give up amanina. He has to give up false prestige and give all respect to others. Manadena. With nirabhimana, not having any, not a tinge, not an iota of pride should be there. Knowing everyone to be Krishna Adhishthana, that everybody to be the resting place of Krishna, thinking that, oh, in that person's heart, Krishna is residing. If that person has done something wrong, but no, the Krishna who is residing in that person's heart is seeing me. He knows everything. So why should I do anything wrong to that person? We should offer respect to Krishna who is sitting in the heart of others. Krishna Adhishthana, knowing everyone to be the resting place of Krishna. That's how we should chant. Ei Matahana Yai Krishna Namalaya, say Krishna Charanetane Prema Upajaya. If one chants the holy name of Lord Krishna in this manner, he will certainly awaken his dormant love for Krishna's lotus feet. Just see the verse that we started off. Mahaprabhu is saying, learn, hear from me the symptoms of how you should chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra, so that you can easily awaken the dormant love of Krishna in your heart. And then in the last verse that we did today, where Mahaprabhu is saying that if one chants the holy name of Lord Krishna in this manner, in the above manner mentioned, Trinadapi Sunichena, Tarorapi Sahisuna, Amanina Manadena. If we chant with all these processes, certainly awaken one's dormant love for Krishna's lotus feet. So this is the process given by Mahaprabhu. Right? It's not an ordinary process, so we should try to follow. On that note, I will end. Thank you all so much. And again, I will just say that whatever I said was totally theoretical, was totally from the commentaries of Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur and Bhakti Vinod Thakur on Shikshashtakam, and from the purports of Srila Prabhupada. Rest, I have not at all. I have imbibed these mood in my life, but I pray to all of you to please bless me so that whatever I spoke today, I may be able to imbibe also in my life. I may be able to give respect to others. I may not expect any respect for myself. I may become humbler than the blade of grass and become more tolerant than a tree. That even if somebody does wrong to me, I should be tolerant and balance of the reactions of my actions. So I really pray to all of you that please help me to walk my talk. Hare Krishna. All glories to Prabhupada.
Thank you so much, Mataji, for explaining so nicely about humility and tolerance. Very heart-touching class, Mataji, and we are so thankful for you, for your wonderful association. Hare Krishna, Mataji. So,
Thank you,
are we taking some questions, Mataji, or we are playing Kahoot game? How you think?
Cup of tea.
Kahoot?
Yes.
Oh,
Hare
okay.
Krishna.
Play Kahoot. Yeah, Hare Krishna, Mataji. Tamadaki Mataji.
Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to you, and all that you just
To you,
it's
Mataji.
very, very nicely you explained and awaken the soul, inner feelings of the what kind of feelings that doesn't encourage me, but this feelings encourages me. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, Kamadiki Mataji, for always there on the call and blessing us. So thank you so much.
It's because of you, all the speakers are so nice. They're giving so much enthusiasm and also to practice, go on practicing, and also showing the way, also how to do it. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
कृष्णा जी कीर्तिदा सुंदरी माता जी कोटि कोटि दंडवत प्रणाम श्रील प्रभुपाद श्रील गुरुदेव श्री राधा गोपीनाथ की जय यस माता जी today's class is specially for me Trunarapi Smichena Tarorapi Shaishna Mamani Namanade Kirtaniya Sadahari. We hear from Ram Prabhuji, Adikata Prabhu, Siddham Prabhu every time, but when somebody is without our fault, they react. Then we also react. So what is the different, Mataji? So that is Krishna, Srimati Lord Krishna is very tricky. They are testing us and we fail in a Krishna's exam. So Mataji, it is very deep devotional today's class, Mataji. My Papa always said that 30% bad quality and 65% good quality in each and every Vaishnava. But from when I start to see that 35% bad quality from other Vaishnava, that day they also start to see that bad quality. So we have to humble das dasanudas, 100, 1000, multiply 1000. We are hearing this. We have to do our service das dasanudas now. Never expect anything. We have to follow it every day. We have to apply in our day-to-day life, Mataji. And when some devotee or insult us, they wants to take out. We don't know that what is bad quality in my heart, but the other Vaishnava can see that, and they wants to correct us so that we are not passing 84 million Yoni Mataji. So we should take it positively and we should correct ourselves, Mataji. Today's class is so powerful, Mataji. Ananta Koti Dandavat Pranam to your sincere seva. Srila Prabhupada, Srila Gurudev, Shri Radha Gopinath ki jai. Jai Jai Nityananda, Jai Jai Gauranga. One thing is touch to heart that is the key. When somebody is criticized us, that is the key to enter in Shri Gaulok Vrindavan Dham. They are correcting us so that we cannot pass again in this 84 million yoni. Koti Koti Dandavat Pranam Mataji. Hari Hari
Dandavat
Gaura.
Pranam Mataji, Dandavat Pranams to you, and thank you for bringing up that point. That yes, whatever criticism we get, we should really have it in a positive attitude, because we have to understand that criticism is for us to get improved. There are so many people who can flatter us, who can glorify us, but they are not our real friends. Our real friends are those who see fault in us. When they see fault in us, then if we take it positive and we approach Krishna, then they are the one actually who are bringing us closer to Krishna. It's a very valid point. And yes, another valid point you rightly said, that we have to memorize this verse, and not only memorize, try to imbibe the instructions in this verse. As Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur always say, that we have to wear this verse as a locket in our heart. Wearing this verse as a locket in our heart means you have to contest this verse. You have to hold this verse in our neck. That means we have to memorize, and we have to keep remind ourselves that yes, we have to have these qualities. We have to work on these qualities. If we haven't worked on till yet, it's not too late. We have to start working on it and consciously try to work on it. You know, sometimes it takes an effort. Even when we chant, you know, it doesn't comes on its own. You know, that flow doesn't come in chanting. So first 4 rounds, we really have to keep ourselves connected. We have to bring our mind back and forth, you know, because it keeps running. So it requires some conscious effort. But later when we keep on chanting, and it looks like that, you know, the flow comes on its own. The chanting comes on its own. So there the mind support us. So in starting, yes, some conscious effort is required and we should work on it. So thank you. Thank you, Vrinda Gopika Mataji.
Just 1 second, Mataji. In day-to-day life, if we are not making any mistake, but still for a peace in our home, we said, "Bhulte gai maaf kar do, bhulte gai maaf kar do. Please forgive me," so that peace will be maintained in home. So, Mataji, कंठस्थ करना है कि तृणारपि स्मेचना, we have to apply in our day-to-day life. Thank you, Mataji. I don't know how to play khud, but I will listen. Please forgive.
No worries, Mataji. Yeah, you brought this valid point that we have to keep asking forgiveness, but that should not become a trend, you know, just always saying, oh, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, not meaning it. When we say I'm sorry, we should mean it. Why? Because sorry means that I'll not repeat it again. That's what the sorry is. Just reciting that I'm sorry like a parrot won't help. So we should really mean it for what I'm saying sorry, so that, and make it a point that I don't repeat it. So thank you, Mataji. So many valid points. I got it from you today. Thank you. So, okay, we have one question on the chat and I would like to answer before we play Kahoot. This is from Pratik Pandey from Mumbai. I have some questions. Your first question is, if someone curses in Kali Yuga, does it fructifies? Yes, Prabhu. If somebody who is chanting Krishna's name, see, when somebody chants Krishna's name, when somebody is chanting, definitely that chanting gives some amount of strength, some spiritual strength to that person. Definitely. Even that person is chanting in Namabhas. I'm not saying Shuddhanam, forget about Shuddhanam. Even if somebody is chanting Nama Parad and Namabhas, still the chanting, the potency of chanting is such that that chanting gives some spiritual strength to that person. So if that person says something he is losing, that person is losing its spiritual strength, no doubt about it. But it will manifest. It gets manifested. Now again, it doesn't, like, it depends whom that person is cursing. If he's cursing a person who is actually not at fault, then it won't manifest, or it won't manifest to that intensity with which that curse came. The point is, why to do something because of which somebody curses us? So we have to stop there and then. That's the main point. But to answer in short your question, that if somebody curses in Kali Yuga, does it fructify? Yes, provided that person is chanting Krishna's name and has got some spiritual strength. That's the answer. How to respect devotees virtually, like in Zoom, WhatsApp, etc. It's not about virtually or physically. We have to respect devotees. How we are going to respect is through our mind. In our mind, we should have no conflict whatsoever with any kind of devotee. If something comes up in our mind that, oh, that devotee has done something this, something that, better to clarify with senior devotees. Or first thing is better to clarify with that devotee itself. That's the best part. But if you cannot, then with some senior devotee, get some light, get some knowledge, how to see such situations in our life. So this way, we should always give respect, virtually, physically, emotionally, anyway, we should give respect, period. How to respect devotees virtually is always in your mind is glorify them. Glorify them. There are always faults in everybody, always there are faults. But we don't have to pinpoint those faults. We don't have to become a housefly that goes to all that dirt, but we have to become a honeybee to seek a nectar from others. So this way we'll always, when we glorify others, is what we always respect others. So make it a habit. Definitely it's for me also, that I also should make a habit that always try to glorify a devotee. If we see some fault, please ignore it, please neglect it. And if that fault is bothering us, discuss with that devotee. And if not possible, then go to some senior devotee and get some light in seeing those faults in others. That devotee will definitely give us the measures, the way, so that we can get rid of seeing the faults in others. And but the first point is not to see the fault and just glorify the devotee. That's my answer. Hope it helps. Someone who has spiritual strength, do they try to curse others? Yes, because they are still not on Shuddha Nam, right? When they are not on Shuddha Nam and they have still on Nam Aparadha and Nam Abhas, they are still not on that platform where they know that they are not supposed to curse others. So whatever spiritual strength they gather because of some devotional activity they do, they might use it in a wrong way. It is very much possible. So yes, to answer your question is yes. Okay. I superficially read it, Harinam Chintamani by Bhaktivinoda Thakur, but I didn't understood much in that. But I was having a question about how to cross over Vyavadhana, Namabhas, Namabrata stage and to Shuddhanam. It itself is a big topic and requires a full class, not one, but more than one class. But how to cross over Namaprad, Namabhas stage and go to Shuddhanam is continuously chanting. Chanting itself will help us to come to Shuddhanam. The more we chant, the more we'll get taste in chanting. The more we get taste in chanting, the more we'll get attachment to that chanting, and more we will come onto the level of Shuddhanam. I cannot answer directly because I'm still not on Shuddhanam stage, working on it. But what I'll say is keep on chanting, increase your number of rounds. And if you increase your number of rounds, you'll get more taste in chanting. And when you get more taste, slowly that Namapradhan stage will cross and you'll come on to the Namabha stage and so on and so forth. Okay. So that's all the questions we have till now. So let's play Kahoot. And I hope you all are ready. Please download kahoot.it, kahoot.it. Please download and I'll share the game pin. So this is the game pin. So go to the website, kahoot.it, and game pin is there, 2551975. Okay, we have Padmaja Mataji, Radhika Mataji, Vinita Mataji, Indulekha Mataji, Pratik Prabhu, love you. Those who are not able to join, I'll again say, go to the website, type kahoot.it, and then it will take you onto Kahoot, and then enter this game pin, 2551975, and you will be in the game. Anyone else joining?
Come on, devotees, only 6 people. Please join in.
Today will be a very easy Kahoot. Don't worry. Anishwari Mataji, good. Okay, Vinita Mataji, shall we start? Paneshwari Mataji left.
Yeah, maybe something happened to her, Mataji. She's there in the call.
Should we wait or?
Yeah, we can wait another couple of minutes. Is there anybody having any issue to go to this game?
Yeah,
we
please type.
We
I'm
can
sorry,
share the link.
Mataji.
Maybe
I
I will
think
share
I'm
the link,
on.
Mataji.
I think I'm on. I don't know. Am I on? I don't know what's
No,
going on.
no, we can't see you, Mataji.
Okay, so I'll try to go. You guys go ahead. I'll try to get on. I don't know what's going on, but I entered it.
Indu Mataji, can you share the link on the website link in the chat, Mataji? I'm not able to open it.
I had
link
added
is
again.
here.
It
Please
said it's
click on
already
that
on
link.
there. I don't know why, but
It could also be because Mataji might be on one device for both Zoom and Kahoot. Maybe that's why we're not seeing your name. I'm not sure.
yeah, I'm on one device for both things, and it says I'm in there. It says my nickname is already used. I put in PL. I don't know if it's going in, but go ahead. I mean, I'll do the quiz besides without even being in. That's
We
fine.
can see Mataji, PL we can see.
Okay. Hopefully, I can see the questions. I don't know how this works.
Then we'll start.
Yes, Mataji.
Okay. What was Mahaprabhu's lamentation in the second verse of Shikshashtakam? People not attracted towards Krishna, people not following the rules and regulations, people not obeying his orders, people have no taste in chanting the holy name.
I can't see him, Mataji. I think you can't see them if you're on. I just can see I can't see the questions on there. So
What
I'll
was
just-
Mahaprabhu's lamentation in the second verse? Okay. The answer is people have no taste in chanting the holy name. Good job. Okay, Vinita Mataji, Indu.
Mataji, I'm not able to pick this. I mean, I'm not able to select the answers. It's not letting me.
Who is you?
Yeah.
Mataji, what's your name?
Nidhi.
Nidhi, okay.
I tried to press it, but it wasn't working. I
Okay,
don't
no
know. I'm
worries.
playing
Till
in.
the time we know the answer is what matters. It's just a fun thing, Mataji.
Okay.
Don't worry.
Thank you, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Quiz 2. Who said the following statement? The third verse has to be worn as a locket around one's neck. Bhaktivinoda Thakur, Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, Srila Prabhupada, or Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. It's very easy. Who said the following statement that the third verse has to be worn as a locket around one's neck?
Sri Chaitanya
Mataji, you
Mahaprabhu.
don't have to say it.
Oh.
You have to say the answer.
How do I answer it?
Well, the answer is Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. He said that the third verse has to be worn as a locket around one's neck.
Mataji, keep this with me, Mataji. The problem is that if you're on one device, you can't see
Yeah.
which answer coordinates with which. So that's the problem.
But you did it yesterday.
Because I was on two different
different
things.
devices.
Yeah, but that's fine.
That's fine. Let's move. Okay, so Loveju. Actually, he's, I think, so Ujjwal, my son. Anyways, next. What is the goal of one's life? Trinadapi suni chena taroreva shahishuna amanina manadena kirtaniya sadahari. What is the goal of one's life? Wow, everybody got, okay, one person got wrong. Well, Kirtaniya Sadahari is the goal of one's life. Okay, so Padmaja and Pratik Prabhu came up. What is the real meaning of humility? Glorify the devotees and put yourself down. Accept Krishna's arrangement and act with courage. Always add your servant at the bottom of your message. There is no real humility. It's all Maya. One can never become humble. Very good. Accept Krishna's arrangement and act with courage is the real humility. It's not that to add your servant at the bottom of your message. That's not the humility is. Indulekha Mataji. Wow, next. True or false? In material or corporate world, today the principle of tolerance and humility is always looked down upon. It's true or false? It's true. Very good. It's true. This humility and tolerance is foreign to this world. Wow, Vinita Mataji came up, Padmaja Mataji came up, Pratik Prabhu, good job. 6. One's greatness has to be estimated by one's ability to dash provoking situation, to ignore provoking situation, to retaliate provoking situation, to tolerate provoking situation, or to handle the provoking situations. One's greatness has to be estimated. Wow. To tolerate, yes, we have to tolerate the provoking situations. Good, Pratik Prabhu, move up. Nice. Seventh question. What does the word amanina means? It means tolerance, it means giving respect, it means being lowered, or it means free from false ego. Oh, I'm so sorry. I didn't see the answer. Oh no. Well, the answer is to get free from false ego. Maybe I pressed twice. Sorry about that. In the given verse, which of the following does Chaitanya Mahaprabhu refer himself to be? Naham Vipro Nacha Narapati Napi Vaishnavo no Shudro. So he is referring himself to be Vipraha, to be Gopi Bhartur, to be Amritabdaha, or to be Das Anudas. What does Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is referring himself to be? Yes, he's referring himself to be Das Anudas. Gopi Bhartur is the master of the gopis. So he doesn't want to become Krishna. He wants to become Das Anudas. The last question. Okay, so we have Padmaja Mataji moved up. Very good. So we have last question for today. Again, in front of whom did Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said this words? Naham Vipro Nacha Narapati. Did he say in front of Lord Jagannath, in the front of Sarup Damodar Goswami, in front of Ramanand Rai, or in front of Lord Nityananda? In front of whom did Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said this verse? Yes, in front of Lord Jagannath, not in front of Sarup Damodar Goswami. He said it in front of Lord Jagannath during the Rath Yatra pastime. When he was right in front of Jagannath in Rath Yatra, he said this verse. So let's see the results now. Third place, Pratik Prabhu. Congratulations. Next is Vinita Mataji. Haribol. And the first place we have Indulekha Mataji. Jai. And for runners up, we have Ujjwal and Padmaja. Thank you all so much. Still something.
Thank you so much, Mataji, once again. It was nice.
Thank you. Radhika Mataji, you participated? Radharani Mataji?
Yes, Mataji.
Okay, so
the call here.
Hare Krishna.
Yes, Kamadiki Mataji, you said something.
How do I participate? I didn't know how to do it. Frozen.
Game pin that is being given.
Huh?
It's little technical, Mataji, don't worry.
No, but I would like to know.
Maybe we can explain you offline.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you so much once again, Mataji. Let's pay our obeisances to Mataji and all the devotees in the phone. Vansha kalpatarupyasya krupa sindhubhyaiva cha patitana pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namah. Shri Chaitanya Charitamrta ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Har Grace Kirtida Sundari Mataji ki jai.
Gaura Bhaktavinda ki jai.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji, for the wonderful class.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Hare
Thank
Krishna.
you, Mataji, for beautiful class and nice talk. Very well. Thank you all devotees for joining.
Thank you.
God for day. Very well.
Thank you. Take care.